Welcome back to part 2 of this card analysis thing. So, yes, we did clear the deck last time a little bit. Not really sure how much we actually did. But it's something that I think seems fine. Hey, Mr. Momogo, appreciate it. Collateral damage. Modifier black hero of +3 siege. This is something I personally find very difficult to judge. +3 siege. If I translate that effect into Magic or Hearthstone, it's very bad. It is just not a good effect. It has existed before, but it is just not very... but it's never really been all that powerful. But if you have enough of it, if you have enough of Siege, eventually it will become overwhelming. So I'm going to go ahead and make the call that I cannot make a call on the entire Siege archetype right now. I find it very difficult to judge how strong it will be. There will be a Siege archetype, the question is just how good it is. Modify a hero with +2 attack. Ooh. That could be fine. Important note here is that it's modify a hero, not a red hero. So that's not terrible. Maybe. Conflagration. Deal 2 damage to each enemy before the action phase. Yes, I think this card is good. 2 of these, and you can have 2 going on at the same time. Instantly kills creeps in the lane, which is super good. But yeah, it's slow. Very slow. So the question here is really, can you establish this? But I think something that might work is, you play this, turn 6, you wipe the board with the complete clear card. And it might be pretty powerful. It might also be slow. Alright? Still, from what I've seen so far, there aren't that many ways to actually get rid of improvements. Right? Improvements seem to be fairly permanent. I mean, Apotheosis Blade gets rid of them, but most of them seem to be pretty solid and be able to just stay in place. So this could be pretty powerful. Funnily enough, I think this card might actually be really good in the creep archetype. So, we are dropping some frames. Why are we dropping frames? Okay, we seem to be back. Sorry about that lag right there. But is that just in a specific lane or in all lanes? So always keep in mind that unless a card says that it targets all lanes, it is only in a specific lane. Right? So this is only in the lane it's cast on. It does not apply to all lanes. This seems to be something that would work pretty well in the creep archetype, because your creeps have 2 attacks, unless you buff them somehow, right? But I think you would prioritize buffing HP. And then they can clear out enemy creeps really easily. Maybe. I don't know. I find this one also quite difficult to judge. I feel like there is potential there, but it is slow. And the question is just how quick the game is going to be. Right? Again, it always goes back to the big boy. You can shoot this guy for 6 turns until you finally kill him, right? So, is it gonna be good enough to deal with that? That's really the important question. So, Corrosive Mist. Condemn all equipped items. I am not entirely sure how exactly... Can blue improvements go on red heroes? Oh, improvements don't go on a hero. Improvements go on a lane. Right? So... Conflagration is something I cast on a lane. So now that lane always does this thing. Doesn't matter if a hero is there. Even after all the heroes in the lane have been killed, that effect still goes on. But I do need a blue hero in the lane to be able to cast it. Condemn all equipped items. So I am unsure if this means all enemy equipped items, or if this means all equipped items of a specific hero, or if this actually means all equipped items as in yours and enemies. Now, it doesn't mean in all lanes, because they would specifically say that. But if it does mean all equipped items, yours and enemies, I am not entirely sure how I feel about it. It seems to me like a tech card. This seems to me so. let me get out my hat, my designer hat. From a design perspective, I'm just trying to think of like why would I create this card? Well, I'm playtesting my video game and I come to the conclusion, well, people are buying a lot of fucking items all the time and it's really stupid. Alright, you know what? We're gonna nerf that strategy by introducing a card that just gets rid of all the items. It seems to me like a tech card. It seems to me like something where people are just like, okay, we know that items can be really powerful. We know that there can be very powerful strategies revolving around simply only playing items, buffing your heroes with that constantly. So we're going to introduce some counters right away so that there's a way to deal with that. Coup de grace. Discard a random card, condemn a hero. This card is very good. I don't even have to say anything else. Phantom Assassin. 6 attack, 8 health, efficient killer. The Phantom Assassin deals +4 damage when attacking a hero. This card is also fine. I don't think this card is super mega god tier. Right? Like this card is okay. It's mediocre, I think. Pretty solid in like on a 1 to 10 scale, I would put it at maybe like a 6. Coup de grace I would put at a 9. So I think Phantom Assassin is good. Right? Like that's the thing. Like it doesn't really matter whether or not Phantom Assassin is that good because the coup de grace is super strong. Crack the Whip. Modify a black hero with after you play a black card, give this hero and its allied neighbors +2 attack this round. After you play a black card, give this. Dude, this card is terrible because it's just too complicated for me to even read. It says 4 mana on there, but then it says cost 3 mana, so I'm unsure about that. Modify a black hero with after you play a black card, give this hero and its allied neighbors +2 attack this round. I don't think this card is good. Unless it counts itself. That's the big thing. I don't expect it to count itself. So there's a possibility that you play this card, you modify a hero, it gets the effect, at which point the card counts as played, meaning that it immediately gets the buff for this round as well. If that's how it works, I think this card is good. If the way it works is you modify a hero with it and then other black cards you play, give it +2 attack, then I don't think it is good because I think in that scenario it's just a little bit too slow. Right? I expect it to be the second because it would be weird. But there's an important keyword here, and that is after. Right? So this is where we actually now the big question here is how do the exact mechanics of the game work out? Alright? I wonder, in Hearthstone, would this count? You get the effect, and then since it says after you play a card, I might be overthinking this. Yeah, it comes down to the exact mechanics of this. Hey, it's a creep. Let's cross the main. Arcane Aura, continuous effect. Return 2 mana for every spell cast. Yes, this is very good. This is very good. I mean, her stats are mega trash. Right, like these are quite possibly some of the worst stats we have seen so far. In Hearthstone, it would not count. Yeah, I don't think it will count in Hearthstone, but it's definitely like a bit of a tricky one, right? These stats are garbage. This is probably the best effect we have seen so far. I mean, this is just stupidly broken. And then Frostbite, deal 2 damage to your unit and disarm it this round. So Frostbite, I think, is like pretty average, mediocre. But, yeah. But what if you spend your 4 mana instantly on this card, on a hero, and then the 5 mana turn, you spend several 1 2 mana black cards gain 4 to 6 attacks on that hero. Yeah, but you have to keep in mind that that's like a best case scenario, and then you used like multiple cards just to like get 6 attack for 1 round. It's not even a modify. Like, if that card said modify units with the extra damage. Well, where is it? It says, give this hero and its allied neighbors +2 attack this round. This is the important thing. The fact that it only is for a single round, to me, just makes it not good. If it said modify, then it would be very powerful. But as is, I just don't see it. Alright? But yeah. So, return 2 mana for every spell cast. Important thing to keep in mind here, you still need the mana to cast the spell initially. Right? Like, it doesn't mean reduce the cost of cards by 2 mana, but you do need the mana to cast a spell initially. So it doesn't ramp in any way. It seems fine. So the thing about it, this right here is not mega good. Right? Like, the Crystal Main, you might want to just put her into your deck because of this. Right? Like, this alone might be good enough to justify putting the Crystal Maiden into your deck. But the problem is, you play the Crystal Maiden, then you run into him. And I know you might say, well, why don't you just cast Frostbite on him then? And yes, that's a good solution to it. Actually, in that case, great. You figured it out. You fixed the problem. But what if you don't have Frostbite and she's just dead? Right? She will die to pretty much everything. I mean, she almost dies to creeps. And that's a real problem. Right? So you need card draw to go along with her. She might need an entire deck build around her, but then again, I feel like her effect is powerful enough that she might justify building a deck around her. Right? She seems really, really good. Especially with cards like this right here, like the Cunning Plan. Swap a unit with one of its allied neighbors, draw a card. Yeah, so you can just play this for free, essentially, with Crystal Main, right? Because you draw a card, and then you get the mana back. So again, like with Crystal Main, I do want to mention, I think the Crystal Main is one of those heroes that she would be really, really, really good in the right scenario, and she might actually be good enough in that scenario that people are willing to go to great effort to put her into that situation. Alright, I imagine if you can stack that Crack the Whip card on a single hero twice or thrice, you could gain a crap load of damage from it for a finish round, but yeah, it's situational at best, and we'll probably see no limited play by people like me that want to force it to be good. Yeah, I think you gotta keep in mind that with card game design like this, oftentimes people will just designers will put cards into a set that are just exciting. Right, so that black card is exciting because what if I put it on somebody and then play 15 cards and then I have plus 30 attack and just one-shot you? That's cool. But it's also just not going to happen. Right? Anyway, Pot of Greed. This is not Pot of Greed. Pot of Greed gives you card advantage. This is a cycle. This is a cantrip. Swap a unit with one of its allied neighbors. Draw a card. I think this card is very good. I actually think this card is super underrated. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody get excited about this. People never really talk much about it. I think this card is actually mega god tier. This might be one of the best cards in the entire game right now. It's a cantrip. It's 2 mana, right? With the Crystal Main, that's free. You can swap a unit. You do that on enemies, right? You can prevent a lot of damage. You can protect your heroes. You can get your heroes out of harm. You can use them to push more damage. There's so much utility that comes along with this. It's a great support card. And the fact that it cycles is just incredible. So this is super, 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 super good. So, Curse Satyr. Summon a zombie for your opponent after the combat phase. And a zombie, I think, is a 2/2. Yeah, it's just a 2/2. Okay, this card is bad. Diabolic Revelation. Draw 2 cards, deal 2 damage to allies in all lanes. This card is also bad. Summon 3 melee creeps. This is again going into the melee creep archetype. Or into the summoner creep archetype. I have not seen enough support for it yet. but it might be good. Okay. Is CM passive limited to spells or is it any card? Doesn't matter the color of spells. No. I don't think the Crystal Maiden card matters what color of spells it is. Again. Anyway, Dirty Deeds. Yeah, by the way, we are D. I hope you guys are ready. It's gonna take another 3 hours. Alright, deal 2 damage to the enemy tower for each of its improvements. Yeah, it's terrible. Disciple of Nevermore. Other allies have +2 attack and -2 armor. This is terrible. Divided we stand. Summon a Meepo. And then we have the premier card of Meepo. Meepo. Alright, he's got 2 abilities. 4 attack and 5 health. Move Meepo to an allied Meepo's lane. Deal 2 damage to the new enemy neighbors. If Meepo dies, other allied Meepos in every lane also die, ignoring death shields. And premier card is Divided we stand. Summon a Meepo. So, I'm actually unsure how to feel about this one. So, the Meepos are essentially just like different types of creeps. The important thing to keep in mind about the Meepos is that they let you cast spells. I don't expect them to be good. I expect them to be gimmicky, but they might be good. Just because they let you cast spell. Modify a unit with damage immunity. I think this is going to be actually a really bad card. I don't expect this to see any play. Yes, modify is good, but turn 7 in a green deck, you can't just slap down a big boy. Double Edge, yes, we know that. Drow Ranger. Drow Ranger's ability and rarity are currently unknown. It's a 4/7, so since we don't know anything about it, we can't really talk about it. Duel! Choose an allied red hero and another unit. They battle each other. Premier card of Legion Commander. Legion Commander is a 6 attack, 1 armor, 8 health minion. No, hero, sorry. A moment of courage, retaliate 2. She seems like a worse axe in pretty much every regard. Yep. Earthshaker. Fisher. Stun Earthshaker's enemy neighbors this round. 2 attacks, 7 health. Seems kind of weak. Echo Slam, however. Deal damage to each enemy equal to the number of enemies. So this will just clear a lane. Most of the time that just clears a lane entirely. Yeah, this is very powerful. Question is just, is it worth playing Earthshaker for it? You know, Earthshaker with his 2 attack, 7 HP. The stats aren't the worst. The ability isn't the best. Echo Slam is quite powerful because it will just completely clear a lane most of the time. But 7 mana, I don't know. I find it unlikely. Eclipse. This is bad. Repeat 1 time for each charge. Deal 3 piercing damage to a random enemy. Starts with 0 charges, and Luna, Lucent Beam reactive ability. Before the action phase, deal 1 piercing damage to a random enemy and add a charge to the Eclipse card in your hand or deck. 3 attack, 8 health. Now, we saw this on the stream. This card is terrible. So is Luna. She's just bad. So, Emissary of the Chrome. Active. Modify allies with +2 attack and +2 health. I think this card is actually kind of solid. This card is a... So... Something that's important to keep in mind about big green decks like this is you need to have a way, like, your late game cards should all threaten the kill. Right? Like, that's the thing. Your late game, all of your late game cards should threaten your opponent in such a way that they're worried about dying. That's what, like, Big Druid and Hearthstone did for a long time, where they just played massive big dudes, right? Like, you just had a deck full of ramp and like a little bit of card draw, and then just like 15 big cards, each of which can end the game on their own. This is a card that can end the game on its own. Yeah, absolutely. This card can win on her own. So probably solid. It is a bit slow though. If it was a bit quicker, you know, just a little bit more attack, I think it might be better. Can you play a premier spell without the hero on the lane? Yes. You do need a hero of the same color though. Modify a unit with +3 attack and +3 cleave. And this is the premier card of Magnus. Magnus, what do you do, my dude? It's a 4/1/9. That's pretty good for green, honestly. I don't think this card is good though. Does it really not have another effect? No, I don't think it's going to be that strong. 4/1/9 isn't that bad, though, so maybe. But this is gimmicky, and most people wouldn't last that long with that many powerful cards. No. Big decks like that, like for example in Hearthstone, like Big Druid, Big Priest. Big Priest in WoW is still one of the best decks. Big Druid for a long time was really, really viable. So those kind of big decks can definitely work. Like, they are not gimmicks. They don't have to be gimmicks. Enchantress. Enchantress has +2 regeneration. Enchantress's allied neighbors have +2 regeneration. So that's a good effect. 4 attack and 8 health is mediocre, right? But the regeneration is nice, especially since it applies to allies. It is lacking its premier card. So once we know what the premier card does, we will be able to actually tell what exactly it is. By the way, guys, I know some people are complaining about my camera position. I don't really want to move it right now because I would have to change my overlay. But you can just see how much attack and health things have right here. Right? Like, it says it right here. Like, and I'm always trying to scroll down a bit. Enough magic. Proceed to the combat phase. This card is super broken. This card is so good. It's so good. You need to read this as skip your enemy's turn. Think about that. Also, it's my favorite artwork in the game, of course. Yeah, this is a great card. Very powerful. Okay. Enrage, premier card of Ursa. So let's look at Ursa first. 7 attack, 10 health, red. Fury swipes. When Ursa deals battle damage to a unit, that modify that unit with -1 armor. So not exactly what Ursa does, but kind of. Really slow. Don't think this effect is good at all. This seems really, really terrible. But what is Enrage? Give a red hero +4 attack and +4 armor this round. I am not digging Ursa. No. Not digging Ursa. Enrage is not terrible, but the thing is, like, Enrage is pretty mediocre. Ursa is okay. You know, like, that makes 2 kind of fine, mediocre cards, and that doesn't really lead to anything incredible. So, Escape Route, reactive, return, and it's an improvement, by the way. Return an allied hero to the fountain. This card is super good. Oh yeah, returning an allied hero to the fountain means they spawn next turn. You can immediately redeploy them. Right? This is incredible. It's a 1 mana, you can just squeeze it out onto a lane and just constantly rescue your heroes and replay them. Super good. Super good. It's like a constant TP scroll. Yeah, I would be surprised if this doesn't see play. Alright, this seems like something that's really strong. Alright. Why is it not called TP scroll? Because TP scroll also exists. So, we've got one of the Satyrs. Pack leadership, continuous effect. Far Run, the Dreamer's allied neighbors have +1 armor, 4 attack and 11 health. Very good stats for a green dude. And then Prowler, but what is it? Wait, what? Premier card, Prowler Vanguard. So its premier card is actually a minion. Interesting. Okay, it's a 4 mana 0/8. Prowler Vanguard's allied neighbors have +1 armor. So you can, again, keep boosting armor. 0 mana, 8 attack. So this 0 attack is really... Oh, wait. 0 attack, 8 health. Sorry, man, I don't know. This is always tripping me out here. That 4 mana, 0 attack, 8 health. The fact that it doesn't have any attack is really bad. If it had at least 1 attack, it would be a lot better. But the fact that it doesn't have any is kind of garbage. It comes down... I know that the Prowlers are all about buffing stuff. So maybe there's enough buffing stuff in here to make this work. Right. Fight through the pain. Give a red hero +2 armor this round. Get initiative. Getting initiative is good. Honestly, to me, this card reads get initiative for 1 mana. Right? Like, the +2 armor is nice, but you don't play it for that. You play it for the getting initiative. And that might actually be worth it. Like, this card might actually be really good. Fighting Instinct. Modify a red hero of +1 attack and +1 armor. And it is the premier card of Keith the Bold, which is a 6 attack, 1 armor, 11 health. Red hero. Another big fucking dude. Quite a bit weaker than Axter. Right? And here's something. Modify red hero with +1 attack and 1 armor for 5 mana. Yeah, this card is bad. This card is bad. This guy is just not good. You can literally just play Axe and get this guy already buffed up. What's the point? Now, don't get me wrong. This is a strong effect, but it's just 5 mana? This is like a 2 mana effect. Why is this 5 mana? Right, if this was 3 mana, I would still be kind of tempted to say it's not that good. But on 5 mana, it's just terrible. This guy is garbage. Super garbage. The only reason why you would want to play this guy is because you already got Axe and Bristleback in your deck and you need another big dude. Right, like that's the only thing. Other than that, there's no reason to play this dude. Foresight, draw 2 cards. Yes, this is good. Fountain Flask, fully heal unit. Maybe for a red deck? I'm unsure. Friendly Fire, choose 2 enemies. They battle each other. This actually seems really good. Frostbite, we already looked at that. Fur-lined Mantle, equipped hero has plus 8 HP. This seems pretty solid. Maybe it's basic deck. Yeah, but I mean, I'm not judging based on basic decks. I'm judging based on, do I think there's any merit to the card? Choose an allied black hero. Choose another unit in any lane. They battle each other. So the fact that you can battle somebody in another lane is super broken. This card is insane. This card is actually so nutty. Like, the fact that you can battle somebody in another lane is so dumb. It is so dumb. Right? Because you can't just take your opponent's ability away to cast a spell in a lane. Just kill her. Right, and this is exactly why I'm kind of doubting Crystal Maiden a little bit. As you see in that picture, she just get fucking ganked. She's just getting ganked by that slog. And then that's just it for her. She's just done. So I think this card is very good. Golden ticket. Get a random item from the secret shop. I mean, this is going to be funny, but I really hope it's not competitively viable. Grand Melee. We really don't need another Yogg-Saron situation. If there's an allied red hero on this lane, all heroes have +2 cleave. Okay. So this is kind of empower, but better. Probably. It's improvement. So the fact that it's an improvement makes it really good, I think. Yeah. You know what? Actually, I think this is pretty solid. So an improvement means it's a passive. Like, it's an aura, right? So, yeah, that seems actually good. That seems good. Since it's all heroes, it makes your enemies heroes of cleave as well. Yeah, but as red, you're usually okay with that. Because, like, your dudes are just much bigger, right? Like, you're glad to just, like, brawl it out. You don't give a shit. I feel like this is still, I don't know. It might be good. I'm a bit unsure about it. Grazing Shot. Deal 2 damage to a unit in any lane. I don't know. 2 damage is just not that much damage. It's not worth 1 mana. Fully heal each ally. Give allies damage immunity this round. We talked about Chen already. Healing Salve, heal unit 6. So it's really cheap. Which I think is actually a really big selling point. Like, if you think about this Fountain Flask here. Right? Like, I feel like in most scenarios. So this is only 1 gold more. Right? This is 4 gold. The other one is free. To be honest, I think that the Healing Salve is better. But, yeah. Oh, I feel like both are kind of crap, to be honest. Heartstopper Aura. Modify a black hero with deal 2 piercing damage to this hero's enemy neighbors before the action phase. And it's the premier card of Necrophos. Necrophos. What do you do, my boy? It's a 5 attack, 6 health black dude. Satyrs reactive ability. Modify Necrophos with +1 health after an enemy neighbor dies. So Heartstopper Aura is kind of not that good. Neither is the saddest thing. I am not sold on Necro. Hellbear Crippler. I think you call those handicapped. Anyway, when Hellbear Crippler deals battle damage to a unit, modify that unit with -1 attack. mean, getting -1 modification on an enemy hero is pretty good. Necro's great with conflagration, Balmy. No, what you done? No. You're looking at that the wrong way. Conflagration is good with conflagration. Necro's just a worse version of it. Alright, like Necro's effect is just weaker. It's just not as good. Heartstopper is great if you have it with conflagration or double Heartstopper. Okay, I need to take a moment to remind you guys of the big boy. Always remember Axe. Always remember Axe. Right? Because you activate Heartstopper Aura, you deal 2 damage to this guy, and then he kills you. Good job, I guess. like that's what's gonna happen. You just need to keep this in mind. You need to compare everything to the card with the highest stats. So I just don't think it's that good. Now, Hellbear Crippler is something I think might actually work, because you can actually make Axe be weaker. If this set -2 attack, I would say yes. With -1 attack, I'm not a believer. The fact that you can play it on turn 1 is kind of fine, but the fact that it's also a red card is not that great. If this was like a blue card, maybe it would be better. But anyway. Okay, Crypt Hero has +3 armor. Get control of an enemy creep. So +3 armor is really good. Get control of an enemy creep is also really good. Keep in mind that like creep doesn't mean just like this guy is a creep, right? Like this guy is a creep. There can be really powerful creeps. So I think this card is actually pretty solid. This card seems really good. It's got like a really good immediate effect of 3 armor. Control of an enemy creep. Yeah, you know, you get some value out of that. 19 gold. Can you explain if that is much? That is a lot. That's very expensive. 19 gold is very expensive. So it's a very powerful effect. Yeah, it really just comes down to 19 gold, like whether or not you can actually afford that. Like, is that too much or is it not? And that's just something that's going to be a matter of how your deck is built. Like, we can't really answer that right now. A Crypt Hero has +16 health for 15 gold. That actually seems kind of solid. 16 health is a lot. Modify hero with after you play a non-item card costing 2 or less, modify this hero with 2 health. You know, I hate cards like this because they're so inelegant. Terrible design. Like, this is a terribly designed card. They're very Magic. I hate these kind of cards in Magic too. Different note, I don't think this is very good. Costing 2 or less, we have not seen a lot of cards that cost 2 or less that are in any way worthwhile. So I don't think this card is good. Hipfire. Deal 4 damage to a unit, get initiative. This card is very good. Very good. Very, very good. Horn of the Alpha. By the way, we're moving a little bit quicker now because we've been doing this for like close to an hour and a half already. So summon 25 gold. Summon Thanapak Hide. So Thanapak Pack is 14 attack, 14 health creep with 6 siege. Important thing to keep in mind. So first of all, it's an 8 mana, right? But this is a creep. You can actually dominate this with Helm of the Dominator. So just to kind of like stress again how good that effect from Helm of the Dominator can actually be. Right, because like this guy is a creep. You can actually steal this guy. It kind of puts it into a better context, right? So it's very, very expensive. It has very little immediate impact. I don't think this card is good. I'm gonna actually go ahead and say it. Like, it's probably gonna sound weird, you know, considering you're summoning like big-ass massive dudes every other round. I don't think this card is good. It's just slow. It's just really slow. 25 gold and then even more of a delay. Don't see it. Okay, Hound of War, summoned by Prey on the Weak, and Prey on the Weak is the premier card of Kanna, and Kanna is everybody's favorite card. So Kanna is one of the creep heroes, right? 2 attack, 12 health. Bringer of Conquest, continuous effect. The random allied meta creeps are deployed into Kanna's lane. So whenever you, at the start of a round, you know that there are lane creeps, they are randomly deployed, they get deployed into her lane. And then you have Prey of the Week, summon a Hound of War for every damaged unit. And then you have Hounds of War, which are 2 attack, 1 health creeps. So it's all about swarming. It's that creep archetype. They're pushing for it quite a bit. It seems solid, honestly. Like, this card is really what ties it together for me. And by this card, I really actually mean this card. Like, this is really good because essentially, you know, like, you summon a bunch of creeps into a lane, they all take damage, flood the board with the Hounds of War, instantly win that lane. Seems solid. Something that's really important about this is that it's 4 mana. It's really quick, so you can actually make this work rather effectively. I think actually, honestly, Kanna might be really good. So are the Prey on the Week, so are the Hound of War. Howling Mind. You and your opponent draw an extra card each round. It's an improvement. Terrible. Terrible. This is a garbage card. I don't even know how to properly express just how mega garbage this piece of shit is. You lose, like, you're down 1 on your opponent, right? Because you spend a card to trigger this effect, meaning that they get an additional card out of it. You don't ever want to play it against aggro decks because they're never going to run out of resources. This is terrible. Terrible. This is so bad. Yeah. Iron Fork Gold Mine. Get 3 gold after the combat phase. Very slow. I know that there's like an archetype that they want to push with like gold centered black. Gold centered black deck. Kind of like go for a late game with a lot of money. Or kind of rush into an early late game with a lot of money. Seems solid for that, honestly. Getting 3 additional gold is not that bad. So, seems fine. Jamui the Wise. We had talked about you already, right? Keith the Board. Yep. Yeah. We already like covered a lot of this. Keen Folk Golem. Another creep. Keep in mind, this is also creep. You can also dominate this with Harmful Dominator. Play effect. Discard your hand. This card is terrible. It's a 6 mana, 13 attack, 13 health minion. This is mega garbage. Keen Folk Musket. Deal 2 damage to a unit. Equipped hero has +2 attack, 7 gold. This is actually pretty solid, I think. Definitely a pretty decent weapon, in my opinion. The fact that you can kind of just spread out 2 damage is really nice. Keen Folk Plate. Equipped hero has +1 armor. Equipped hero has +1 armor for each of its attackers. 8 gold. So you can have upwards of +4 armor from this. Not really digging it. It's fine. Kraken Shell. Modify a red hero with +1 armor. You see how this is 1? Look at this card. Modify a red hero with +1 armor. Get initiative. Right? 1 mana. 1 mana. And then you get Tidehunter, who is a 2 attack, 1 armor, 18 health minion with a Ravage active ability. Stun Tidehunter's enemy neighbors this round, and each other enemy has a 50% of chance being stunned this round. Right? This is really good. This is really good. This is really good. And then you compare it to this piece of garbage, which is 5 mana, modify red hero of +1 attack and 1 armor. What? How does this card exist and this card exist? Can somebody explain this to me? Right? It's not even like Keep the Board is that much stronger than Tidehunter. But not only does Tidehunter have an active effect, but Tidehunter can actually fight him reasonably well. I mean, not really. Tidehunter will still get beaten up, but it's going to take him like 17 rounds to do it, so it's fine. So, you gotta ask yourself, like, how is this card 5 mana and this card 1? Because, like, the thing is that getting initiative is really good, especially on 1 mana cards, right? Because getting initiative essentially means you get to immediately play another turn, right? And with a 1 mana card, you just play it for 1 mana, get initiative, and then you can play a more expensive card immediately. Right? Explain how armor works. Is it just reduction of damage? Yeah, it's just damage reduction. If you have 1 armor, you take 1 less damage. But, right, modify a red hero of +1 armor. So, like, that's pretty much the same effect as the other one, except missing 1 HP. But, like, I'm missing +1 attack. But honestly, isn't getting initiative better than getting +1 attack? I don't get it. This is so dumb. This is so fucking dumb. Right? It doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, Tidehunter, like, this card I actually think is really good. 18 HP is massive. This is the guy you want to buff. Right? Like, you play this dude, and you give him your weapons, right? You just buff him up with attack. You make the biggest fucking dude the world has ever seen. The fact that he starts out with 18 HP is just so absurd. It is so high. Right? The problem, of course, is he only hits for 2, which is pathetic. But you just gotta give him some more. Like, he is a bit slower, but he's just, like, basically your late game, I think. I wonder if the Ogre Dude's card has a typo that they still haven't noticed. Yeah, I don't get it. This is so dumb. Right, like, this card could say +2 attack and +2 armor, and it would still not be good. I don't get it. And again, it's not like this guy is that much better. He doesn't even have an ability. Tidehunter's ability easily makes up for the loss in stats. And it's not even like Tidehunter has less stats anyway. Tidehunter's stats are just distributed differently. Like, this guy has a total of 21 stats. This one has a total of 20. He's even got less stats. No, he's a total of 18. This guy got less stats. He's got no ability. His card is worse and costs 4 mana more. Can anybody explain this to me? This dude is so bad. God. Again, you might actually see play of him just because he's still a big body and sometimes that's all you need. But I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Alright. Equipped hero has +1 armor. Yeah, I don't know. Seems mediocre. It's something that I think is like fine to just slap in there, but whatever. Legion Commander. Oh, we talked about her already. Legion Standard Barrier. 4 mana. Legion Standard Bearers. Allied neighbors have +4 attack. 0 attack. 6 health. Satyr. Yeah. Like, again, with those Satyrs, I think you just want to have as many of them on the map as possible, and then you get Echo Slammed and lose. Seems fine. Probably not that good. Depends on how strong the archetype is. Alright. I can tell what card is going in the starter deck. Yeah, I don't get it, man. 6 attack, 0 armor, 5 health, Lion, deal 8 piercing damage to a unit. I mean, this is absurd. We need to know what the cooldown on this is. Sadly, we do not know what the cooldown on this is, but this is actually so fucking dumb. This is so dumb. What an absurd ability. Okay, and then mana drain. Give the enemy tower -2 mana this round and give your mana +2 mana. Give your tower +2 mana this round. Yeah, Lion is good. This guy is really good. Holy shit. Yeah, wow. Oh no, this guy is very, very good. Very good. Alright. We've got Luna, we talked about her already. We've got Lycan. 4 attack, 0 armor, 10 health. Lycan's allied neighbors have +2 attack. This is actually pretty solid on those stats. I like the stat line for it. He seems fine. And then the Savage Wolf, which he gets another creature. Modify Savage Wolf with +1 attack and +2 health after the combat phase. So they actually kind of become more powerful, which is nice. It's fine. I like that they kind of grow. You know, so they don't immediately die. You can get some value out of them. I don't imagine they'll survive more than 2 rounds. So you can't really go for like a big strategy where you like have them buff endlessly. But they seem fine. I think Lycan is something you would want to play in that like Satyr deck, if that's something you want to do. Just kind of keep buffing shit. Alright, damn, we're already 45 minutes into this. So, if you guys enjoyed this so far, alright, like if you enjoyed this shit, don't forget to do a rating on the video. I guess we're doing a part 3, boys! Guess we're doing a part 3! Oh man, I actually am having so much fucking fun though, so let's keep going.